Common Cause's mission is an open, honest, and accountable government, including the President. John Marion, Executive Director of Common Cause Rhode Island, will address their mission within a Trump administration. John?
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let's warm up here. So, if I had known that you could get applause for talking about paper ballots, I would have written a completely different speech. Because I can talk about paper ballots and their value all day. So, if you want to talk about paper ballots when we're done, I'll be over there. But I wrote a stem winder instead, so I'm sorry. But again, my name is John Marion. I'm from the government watchdog group Common Cause Rhode Island. I want to share a little bit about our history that I think people need to know today. Common Cause was started way back in 1970 by a guy named John Gardner. But when Gardner was ready to pass the reins on to his successor, he chose someone named Archibald Cox. And Archie Cox was a really accomplished man before he joined Common Cause. He was a famous law professor, solicitor general. But he'll go down in history as the special prosecutor that was fired during the Saturday Night Massacre in Watergate. And if you know anything about that fateful Saturday night when Archie Cox lost his job, you know that the person who actually fired him wasn't Richard Nixon, it was a man named Robert Bork. The same Robert Bork was later nominated and rejected for a seat on the U.S. Supreme Court. So about 15 years later, their paths crossed once Cox was at Common Cause, and Common Cause was deciding whether to weigh in on the Bork nomination. And Archie Cox went into the board meeting and he said, I have to recuse because I can't have independent judgment. And so what I want to talk about is the importance of independence today. I apologize for the wind. So today we face another moment just like 1973 with a special counsel investigating the sitting president for problems during his campaign. A president who's threatening to fire his attorney general, just like in 1973, in order to get rid of a special counsel like Archie Cox. So now more than ever, we need that independence of judgment that Archie Cox showed 15 years later and understood so well. That's why we need to let Robert Mueller's investigation continue without interference. There can be no other Saturday Night Massacre because no one is above the law, not even our president. We need elected officials who will be accountable to the American people and to their constitutional duties. President Trump shows that he's more interested in protecting himself than getting at the truth about the Russian interference in our 2016 elections. To get the truth, the independent investigation must continue. Special Counsel Mueller's investigation is essential to getting to the bottom of what happened. So now more than ever, we need to protect his investigation at all costs. That means Congress needs to do its job and pass legislation to protect his office. We deserve to know the truth as the American people. This country and our government will not stand idly by while the president protects himself and undermines our democracy. It's time for this Congress to put country over party and hold President Trump accountable. It's time for members of Congress of both parties to come together, protect democracy, fulfill their duty to the rule of law, to every American's right to know. When foreign governments interfere in our elections, as we all know, it weakens our democracy. America is based on one simple, radical, and revolutionary idea: one person, one vote. It's not supposed to be we the people. It's supposed to be we the people, not we the Twitter trolls. When a foreign government tries to intervene and influence our elections, it weakens all our votes and all our voices. So now more than ever, for the sake of democracy, Congress must act. At the end of the day, this isn't about Donald Trump or Russian bots. This is about protecting American democracies. Russia's interference in 2016 could be just the start. We've heard this week about threats in 2018. And next time it might not be Russia, it might be China or North Korea or Iran. It could happen to any party or any candidate. And we can talk more about the paper ballots and what we're going to do about that. So now more than ever, we need the full truth and the real facts from Mueller. We need to know how to prevent this next time. It's time for Congress to get serious, hold Trump accountable, and protect Mueller. Now more than ever, we need an independent investigation to continue. We need Donald Trump may think he is above the law, but he can't pardon himself out of this investigation. Now more than ever, it's essential that we get to the truth, that Robert Mueller's investigation continue full speed ahead. So now more than ever, we need everyone in this country to stand up and say, country above party, and no one is above the law. And I know that there is a rally, and I want to thank Indivisible for putting this rally together. I know there's also a plan for a rally if this ever does happen, if Mueller is ever fired. And I just want to say, I hope, and I'm proud that there's a couple hundred people here. I hope there's a couple thousand people that day. Because that's going to be a dark day for our democracy if that happens. So I want you to grab your neighbors and grab your friends, because that's the day that they have to hear us. So thank you very much.